if I was to ask you what the fastest growing segment of the Australian powerboating market is, you may be surprised to learn it is these, PWC, personal watercraft, or as they were known back in the day, jet skis.
Nick, today's personal watercraft are super reliable, super fast and super fun. They are sophisticated little vessels, but like any vessel in Victoria, there are a few rules that you need to be aware of. They sure have come a long way over the past decade. Today's breed of personal watercraft can reach more than 100 kilometres an hour faster than most cars and are an increasingly common sight on many of Victoria's waterways.
They're built to go fast, and you know we're happy for people to go fast, but you need to bear in mind that there are other users out there. You know, there's plenty of water out there as well, so go and use that water, get well away from the beach, and you know, enjoy your day.
First thing you need if you're going to ride a PWC in Victoria is to hold the correct licence, and that's more than just your standard marine licence.
You need to have your marine licence, and then the PWC is an endorsement on that licence, so there's another test that you need to do before you can ride a jet ski. It's things like all the rules of the road and speed and distance and things like that, and the safety gear that you need.
The next thing to remember is it's law to always wear a life jacket while operating a PWC.
As well as your licence and always having a life jacket on, there are a few other minimum safety requirements that we need here in Victoria for our personal watercraft, and they start with a torch. It's got to be buoyant and it's got to be waterproof.
Now, it's also worth remembering that if you're taking your PWC further than 2 miles offshore, which isn't very far when you think about it, you also must carry one of these. This is a registered 406 EPIRB. We'd also recommend you look into one of these. This is a PLB, a personal locator beacon that you actually wear on your person. So if you fall in the water, you can still raise the alarm.
It's also a really good idea to make sure your PWC's kill switch lanyard is attached to you. That way, if you fall off, the vessel will stop straight away, making it easier to get back on. Enjoying your PWC with a group of friends is also very popular, but this can create issues with collisions. So remember, it's law to give yourself room when going fast.
One of the big ones for us is that your PWC operation is generally in groups, which is fine. But what we see is that people don't give themselves enough room between each other.
Everybody likes to go out with their mates on their skis, so the most important thing to do is make sure you're still doing that 5 knots within 50 metres of each other.
Now, in Victorian waterways, you will see a lot of 5 knot signs in various areas. It is the default go slow speed. Now, on a craft which is capable of over 100 kilometres an hour, such as that one, 5 knots feels ridiculously slow.
Nick, it does. That is what 5 knots looks like. It's nice and slow and steady. And remember, it's the law. You've got to stick to your 5 knots.
Now, it's really important that you stick to these 5 knot zones because that'll buy you time to avoid a collision.
So remember, when riding a PWC in Victoria, it's the law to hold a PWC endorsed licence. Always wear a life jacket, carry the required safety gear, including an EPIRB if you're more than 2 nautical miles from shore, stick to the 5 knot limit in go slow areas, and if you're riding with a group of mates, stay at 5 knots when you are less than 50 metres apart.
Unfortunately, there is a bit of a bad rap for jet skis at the moment. They're highly visible, they do big speeds, and the problem is that if you're hanging around the beach, even if you're doing the right thing, a lot of people actually think that you're not. So just make sure that you've got enough distance from swimmers and everyone on the beach, and if you go out in the bay, it can be 200 metres offshore, no one's going to be around, and you're going to be able to open it up and have a good day.